Come on in, come on in. Join us. Join the fun.
We are here.
We are here. We're not
Welcome.
strange. We're just here. Today we're going to talk about back pain. Hi, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Because we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course,
It's
Bob.
a humble opinion. Today we have a lot of products. They're all going to be related to back pain. Also, if you have questions about back pain, you can go ahead and give them to us on Facebook or on Amazon. We'll take a look at them and decide if we want to answer them. Most of them we will. Mike, what are you confused about?
I'm trying to find a
All
chair.
right, let's start talking about the product right away, Brad.
Absolutely, Bob.
We're going to first talk about the Bob and Brad resistance bands, and they are attached to the Bob and Brad wall anchors.
That's right.
So the reason I really like these, for a lot of reasons actually, for strengthening, but they're really good for posture. What is that thing that's, oh, that was your hat that was in the way.
Oh,
So, yeah, posture is so related to back pain because if you
Yes.
have poor posture over time, it's going to result in low back pain, mid back pain.
So what, if you strengthen the muscles in the upper back, it's going to stop you from curling over, which
Right.
makes the lower back round out. So, Brad, do you want to just do a plain old W?
Right, so we're talking about this motion for posture, and we're going to add some resistance with the bands, which is really helpful. And so it's not a hard one, but it's really nice to get that resistance at this level.
What we like about these, the wall anchors, and these things are tough, by the way. You could hang, what, we decided 800 pounds on there, Brad?
Yes, Bob, 800, whatever, it is far more.
Yeah,
than
it's
anybody
more
weighs.
resistance than you need. But I want to also have you show core strengthening, Brad.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
How about stir the pot?
Yeah, so here we go. And that's the nice thing. You can go from doubling it up to a single
band.
And we're going to go with this, get a little pressure. I don't want to cover you up, Bob.
That's all right.
Stir the pot, tighten up the core. And this is one that looks like,
Yeah,
no
it
big
looks
deal.
easy, but it is not. It is amazing how tough this is on the core. And you do both sides, that way you get the obliques. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is your abdominal muscles, the core, they go all the way around and they attach to a fascia, a tough fascia around the back. And so the more you strengthen that core, the more it helps your back. The same with your latissimus. Maybe you can do your lats, Brad.
Oh, yes, the lats. There we
Now
go.
look, I want you to show that again, Brad. How quickly and how easily he just takes the bands and
Yeah, I'm going to take this
he
one
slides it
on,
right up there.
put this one on.
Yep. And now he's got to kneel down for this one because lots need a little bit of room. And there he's, basically taking off.
Oh.
He's fine. So that strengthens the muscles right here. The lats also attach into the fascia of the back. So it's another good one. And it's very difficult to do these at home because how else would you do them?
Now, with this system.
No, this is,
Yeah, it is. I got to tell you, Bob, I feel strong like bull.
no, I'm glad to hear we got that line out so early. You have a question already?
not really.
Oh, I thought Mike was indicating a question. Now, these bands come in 5 colors, and they stand for different resistance levels. Yellow is 15 pounds. Red is 20 pounds. Blue is 25 pounds. We got a blue?
Yeah, there's a blue.
Green is 30 pounds. Black is 35 pounds. Now, that's one set. We have another set where they are actually even higher than that.
Sure.
So it goes 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds. So they're on Amazon. Check them out. You also want to buy the kit.
Right.
You want to show this, Brad, right here, because you made this up.
Right. It's just a demonstration or to show you how the wall anchor is mounted. It's a typical house where you have wooden studs. There has to be wooden studs, which the majority of houses, at least in the United States, are. Here is a model. We got the stud. We got the drywall, and you can see here's the screw. They're 3 inches long. It'll go in this deep into the wood, more than adequate to be strong enough to hold your weight. We've tested it. We know it works. We've been using them for about 4 years now.
Right.
And there's the wall
You won't
anchor.
break these.
No, They're made.
You can pull out of a sheetrock, but you won't break it, and you won't pull out of the sheetrock if you put it into the studs.
And you have to put it in the stud. We do have a video and instructions with the set, so you do it properly. Just follow them.
The reason we're so insistent upon this, later on we're going to show you the hanging handles where you actually hang, and we're hanging from those same wall anchors.
Right.
And so in
For
those
the-
cases,
Right. For decompression of the spine, which is can be very helpful.
right. Why don't we move on, Brad? Anything else you want to say about the wall anchors and bands? You know, these are very high quality bands.
Right.
Brad and I have been using bands for years.
Right.
I'd say 30 years.
Oh, and
Yeah.
practice. Me personally, for all my workouts at home, I don't use any weight. All I use is resistance band. I use the ball and body weight. And I have excellent success.
I'm really proud of the handles on these, Brad.
Yeah.
These are really high quality handles. You can get your hands in there without it scraping on each side of the hand. You know,
Right.
some of the smaller
Yeah,
handles.
they're wide enough.
And this part is really a high quality material.
Yeah, it's not going to give it holds the weight of the whole body when we hang.
Oh, question.
Do
Oh,
you guys know anything about non-discogenetic sciatica?
Non-disco what?
Discogenetic.
Non-discogenics
I think what they're asking is, can you get, or if you have
sciatica
sciatica
without a disc problem.
yeah, it's not coming from a disc pushing into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So the sciatic nerve comes down from the back and it goes through the buttock, and it can anywhere, if it gets pinched anywhere along the route, it could be acting like sciatica. So one of the most common areas for it to get pinched is in the buttock, what they call now deep gluteal syndrome.
Right,
And with deep gluteal syndrome, it used to be called piriformis syndrome.
right.
Now they're finding out it's more than one muscle. So there's some muscles in the butt that actually can pinch over the nerve and send pain down the leg. Normally what you have is you don't have any problems in the back. You might feel some in the butt, and you feel pain down the leg that acts like sciatica.
Mhm.
The thing we use for this, we might as well jump to this, Brad.
Oh, sure.
Grab a massage gun.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing that I have found that works for this, besides stretching, is to actually get in there and use a massage gun. My sister had this, and that's the first thing I did is send her a massage gun. So these massage guns, they're not the old guns or the old vibrators that just vibrate. These things have percussion.
Right. They reciprocate up and down. They get some depth into the massage versus the ones that just vibrated. It was more superficial.
I just had 20 people at our cabin this weekend, Brad.
And you massaged them all?
I did. No, I left some of these guns around.
Yeah.
They were so popular. I
Oh.
said people just sat on the couch and were using these all day long. I mean,
It was a massage gun party.
it was a massage gun party. So very easily, what you can do is massage around that piriformis muscle. And we've got videos on this if you want to know where the location is.
Normally you do. I guess maybe they can see where you're on the floor. This works good because you can relax.
Sure.
Oh, look at that. Oh, so unfortunately I got black on black with
Yeah.
my,
A little hard to see.
Yeah, and
And
plus-
so do I.
plus you can get a little bit of a stretch in this position. So
Take your
you get-
pants off, Brad. Come on.
Bob, why? It's a
Family
family
show. No, this works really well. It's the thing that I found with patients that took the pain away. But again, I usually start around massaging around the painful muscle, and then eventually I focus it on the muscle itself.
Yeah, because if the piriformis or those muscles are really flared up, it's going to be pretty tender, and you don't want to get right on it because it'll be uncomfortable. You need to work around it and loosen them up gradually.
Danny's got a question.
It's kind of what you're covering right now. But
Okay.
they're asking if you can get sciatica from the inflamed piriformis.
Oh, so that someone is asking if we can get sciatica from the inflamed piriformis.
Sure.
And the answer is yes. And they actually call it pseudo sciatica, meaning false sciatica,
Sure.
because it acts like the pinched nerve up in the back, but it's actually
Either way, you got pain down the leg. The
Yeah.
symptoms are very similar.
So again, massage gun. I it would be the number one thing I'd recommend.
Sure.
I mean, above stretching even, because I've had people stretch. It does okay, but this makes it better.
Sure.
So, all right, Brad, why don't we go to the Booyah stick?
Oh, I love the Booyah stick, Bob. Can you throw one at me?
Yeah, there we go. There's not that much you can do. Oh, another question.
There's one more for the.
Pure Farmers?
Well, can you use this with hip bursitis?
Can you use this with a hip bursitis?
What are we talking about, the massage gun?
Yeah, the massage gun.
Well, if you've got hip bursitis, you're certainly not going to massage over the burst.
bursitis.
It's going to be uncomfortable, and it's not, because bursitis is not the muscle inflamed, it's a bursa sac. It's tender. If it's inflamed, you're not going to massage the bursa.
Now, generally, I'm going to stand up and you won't be able to see me. That's okay.
It's all laid.
Right here is generally where people get the bursitis of the hip, right over the bone of the hip. And what you want to do is you could massage the muscles around it because they're pulling on those muscles and putting stress on the bursa.
Yeah. I think particularly the muscle above it,
Yeah.
you know, the glute medius.
Yeah,
And work up in here, and that'll help release some of that tension on that bursa. And then the IT band
IT band,
going down to the knee.
So I think the massage gun will work fine for that, but you just don't want to go right on the bursa itself.
Correct.
Now the Booyah stick, it has limited uses for back pain. I thought we just mentioned it though. I think as one of the best things, you're short, Brad. I'm sorry, I'm going to make you do a lot of stuff.
Well, can't forget the simple.
That's what I'm talking about.
This one?
Oh yeah, that one too.
Yeah. So you can, if you got lower back and you want to do some massage on the muscles, you can roll it like this on either side. You can use it up into the thoracic spine, and this actually works really well. Actually, I don't know how else you can do this with the exception of using a foam roller.
Unless you have assistance from somebody.
Right, exactly, yeah, independently. But you can really get some nice decompression or traction.
Right, but the thing I wanted Brad to show is the squats.
Oh,
So
for
he
posture.
actually, yeah. This
See,
works really well for that.
So we take the
Yeah,
Booyah
that looks
stick.
good, Brad.
It's touching in 3 locations. The back of my head touches, between my shoulder blades on the thoracic spine contact. Bob will point it out.
So
And-
he's hitting on the head, back, and pelvis.
Right. So if I'm like this, it's still good. I'm going to go
Yeah,
up.
he's doing back because there's only 2 spots contacting.
There we go. So is that clear in the
Yeah,
video?
that we're seeing.
And now we learn biomechanics while keeping
Right,
it
now we've
neutral.
got contact on all 3. So when you train like this, eventually it will progress to the point where you actually use it in everyday life.
Right. So when you pick something up, it becomes a habit
Right.
without thinking about it.
My wife, God bless her, I
God bless
showed
her
her.
for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I showed her this just once, and she picked up on it, and she was able to use it in her everyday life. She just picture that Booyah stick in place.
I thought maybe you taped it to her.
Well, I was thinking about that, but
Are we going to show some of the traction or decompression with this?
oh yeah.
Seated.
Yeah, that's true. I never even thought about
Yeah,
that.
we did this.
That's
on
why I
video.
got you here, hey Brad.
Yeah, we did this in a video, but if you do not have something to hang and pull the
Yeah,
bar,
we'll show you the hanging handles next.
That works
after
better.
this. But this is a good alternative.
Right.
You're actually, this is good for the shoulders, but it's very good for decompressing the back. You actually just put it forward like this. I'm going to actually put mine up on the chair, Brad.
Sure. Yep. You can do it either way. It depends. You know, he's a tall person.
Tall guy, tall drink of water.
Yep.
So I'm leaning forward like this, and I'm actually putting some traction on the back by doing this.
Yep. It goes through the mid back, the thoracic back, and the lumbar.
Yeah.
You want to do it with good posture. I usually get to the edge of the chair, and you'll find out what works best for you. And as you lean forward, because of the way it's set up, it pulls through your arms. Relax and let it stretch that back out. And if you want to go from one side to the other, you may do that depending on how it responds. It should feel good, no pain.
What's nice is this is very portable and easy to do. And besides, there's a whole host of other things you can use the Booyah stick for.
Yes, absolutely.
It works really good for shoulder pain, to be honest with you. We have a whole series of exercises you do it for your shoulder.
Yeah.
And one of them is just like this, leaning forward like this.
Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
Great for balance. If you're doing exercise, you need something to hold on to. It's super. And better than a cane because it's taller.
Yeah, it's got the two tips on the end, and it's got a certain, it's PVC furniture grade, right?
I'm not telling Bob.
Oh, you're not telling.
Oh, yeah, this is a secret. But it is. You can grab a hold of it, and it really
it
grips.
really grips.
Yeah.
My wife just made this comment the other day. She's been using it for shoulder.
Yeah.
And she goes, "This thing, I've tried a broomstick, but a broomstick just slides."
Yeah.
And
And it's the diameter is a little narrower sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends. Oh,
Mike's got a question.
Cynthia wants to know, will a massage gun benefit my SI joint pain?
Cynthia wants to know if a massage gun will help her SI joint pain. I don't know specifically.
I do.
What do you say?
I
You have
like it.
SI.
I do, and I do use it on my SI, but you have to use the right head.
Okay.
The air-filled head, because the SI joint is usually doesn't have muscle over it. But you're only going to use it if it makes it feel good. When I use it on my SI, it just feels very good, and I'll massage it here on that. But again, if you do it, it's uncomfortable. You may be pushing the SI joint in the wrong direction.
Right.
So it depends on the individual. So that you need to try it. If it responds very well, you'll know right away. In my case, it works real well. So
This is why we have Brad here, because what we have found as therapists, when you have a certain problem, you become very good at trying to treat that,
Right.
because you're trying to solve it. You think about it a lot, and
a little more often.
Yeah, and there's some really good books on SI,
Yeah.
and we have some really good videos on exercises for SI,
Right.
and those can be very helpful too. But I didn't know about the massage gun.
Yeah, but I would actually look at some of the other exercises along with the massage.
And Danny's got a question now.
Rebecca's asking if this Booyah stick would help work stretch a frozen shoulder.
Oh,
Rebecca wants to know if this Booyah stick would help stretch a frozen shoulder. All right, there's 3 phases to a frozen shoulder.
Right.
There's the freezing phase where it's very painful and it's getting tightened up. I wouldn't use it during that phase.
Right.
Then there's the frozen phase where it's just frozen. It's kind of in limbo.
This sounds like he's making this up, but this
No,
is,
I'm not. This is typical. And
no, the terms are actually in the
Yeah,
medical terminology.
yeah.
It's official. And so when you talk in front of a group of physicians, it's all understood. So,
yeah, then there's the thawing phase where it starts to go back to normal. Now, these phases can act, each one can last several months. So
it could be shorter though.
It
So
could be
being
shorter.
optimistic.
it could be
The
shorter.
stretches hopefully
But
be shorter.
I wouldn't do the Booyah stick until phase 3 where it's starting to thaw out. And then it's very good for that.
So you're going to do this exercise.
Yeah, Mike, I'll grab you in just a minute. Who was that last one? Rebecca? Yeah, Rebecca, you can actually work the arm. Oh, sorry, am I getting you?
No, don't worry about
Going
it.
back like this too.
Yeah.
And you can actually, remember this one, Brad?
Yep.
You can actually pull it up like this.
Yep. And that's if you're working range of motion behind. If you're working flexion, you would do the one here like I'm doing in a seated position.
Yeah, or you can just go straight up like this too. Is that a reverse canoe or what is that?
Don't worry about it, Bob.
All right, Mike has a question.
Callie Ann wants to know anything for traction for entire back and release muscle tightness.
Callie Ann wants to know if there's anything for entire traction for back, for the entire back.
Yeah.
And for muscle release and tightness. Let's talk about that.
we just did a video on that. So actually we can.
Let's go to that.
We'll
Now we're going to talk about the hanging handles. So we talked before about using the wall anchor, which is right here. And you get with the hanging handles, you get 2 wall anchors, and just 2, right?
Yep.
And you get 2, and you have to make sure they're installed into a stud. This one shows right here. Here's the stud. Here's the sheetrock normally, and here's a screw that misses the stud.
Well, it
Shows
shows how deep it goes into
Yeah,
the
that
stud.
screw goes really deep into the stud. It's going to hold.
You have to use the screws that come with it. Don't
Yeah.
get shorter ones.
So what you do is you want somebody that's pretty handy. Put them up, and
Yeah.
then you want to pull on them. to make sure they're not going to fall out.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to trust them.
Right. And
So-
you just go like this. So the handles come with the clips, heavy duty clips. And this is what it looks like. These other wall anchors are for demonstration.
Yeah.
You would just have those two.
Those two right there.
And go back to the wall like this. So that keeps your posture of your back
Nice
where
and
it
straight.
needs to be. And then you simply slide down slowly, and your traction or decompression of the full spine, thoracic, except for the neck, but thoracic and low spine. And this is what I do on a regular
I do
basis.
too. I take breaks in doing this. He's now picking his feet up, and you can actually swing a little bit, right, Brad?
Do a little right and left.
This, to me, almost like it mobilizes the back. I'm a big fan of hanging. And it's good for your shoulders. It's good for your spine. It straightens out your posture for the day.
It does. Again, start slow. The first time you use it, you may not lift your feet up. You may only go 50% because you feel like that's enough. So don't overdo it. It might take a week to get it a full. I don't do this because my back, it kind of bothers it a little bit. So I just hang on. I'm very comfortable with that.
Right. You increase your gripper strength too.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you're able to choke a chicken.
Well, you breathe.
I don't know.
You breathe better after. It just opens you up.
Mike had a question.
I'll say the question loud so you don't have to repeat them.
Okay.
Someone has hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, retrolithesis, and blocking facet joints. How can I safely unblock my facet joints without much pressure?
So basically, she's saying she's got a hypermobility.
Her name is
in
Ruchama. I have no idea.
She's got a hypermobility in her neck.
What level?
The alar ligament. That's
Doesn't
way up, really high. That's C1, C2. So,
Wait,
Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Yeah, that's not the Ehlers ligament.
oh,
She says hypermobility.
she's talking about analos over. Yeah.
Yeah.
EHLERS.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, this is.
I thought she was saying ALAR. That's
They said the whole spine is hypermobile.
no, she's hypermobile because
Right. Yeah.
I
This
would
is
be-
a complicated case that's hard, I think, to give direct.
Well, I can tell you one thing. She needs to do core strengthening.
Yeah.
I'm gonna dispute whether or not she really has a facet problem because the facets probably aren't locked up because she's got so much mobility.
Sure.
When you have Danlos,
Yes. Yeah.
you want to have stability.
Mhm.
So, Brad, do you want to just show a core strengthening one again? We're gonna go back to the bands now. This is the wall anchor and bands. We talked about these. This is the first product we talked about.
Yeah. I'm
So,
gonna go to the blue. That's the better one
Yeah.
for me. Now, I've got spondylolisthesis. It's incredibly important that I have a strong core to maintain my back pain. So this is exactly what I use. It's functional. You're standing. There's a number of exercises. Did you have one in particular?
Well, not to stir the pot.
Okay.
Well, also this one is.
I'm
good.
going to show you a few.
It's working right now. Your core is
Right. My
Because,
back muscles are
the back
working
muscles are
overtime.
working.
We can go into what Bob was saying before, the stir the pot, and you keep everything. And while you're standing, it's important. That's a big benefit over this
Yeah, it's
versus
functional.
planks. Yeah, I don't do planks at all. I'm convinced that this is, and my back has gotten much better over the last couple of years, I think, as a result of using bands.
I would make this statement, Brad. I think for most forms of back pain,
Yeah,
you're going to want to strengthen the core.
right.
What is that going to hurt?
Well, I think that Stewart.
Yeah, he hit the big three.
Yeah.
And we're showing the big three without getting on the floor.
Right.
So,
This is what I particularly like to do because it works the transverse muscles as well as the obliques.
yeah.
And this is so functional when you're out, like pulling a door open, working, if you mow the lawn.
Right.
And this is a third one. I do have some other ones I'm not going
When
to.
you pull on the cord.
Yeah. Well, going the other way.
Yeah, for the other way.
I was just watching a father showing his young son how to start the lawnmower. As I was
Sure.
driving by, it was kind of funny. I was laughing. He knew why, because the kid was weak to week.
Yeah. It takes
I don't want to sidetrack. So those, I think, are excellent. Like Bob said, get the muscles to maintain that back stability because it's loose. It's hypermobile.
I'm going to mention. Danny's got a question
We got a question from Debbie.
from Debbie.
She works as a stagehand and works behind the scenes for concerts and plays. She says she has a couple of bulging discs in her lower back. What can she do as she works to help her back throughout the day? She can't lay down and stretch and has no exercise equipment. Is there any ideas? So she's wondering if she can use any of the equipment that she has.
All right.
throughout the day.
So Debbie is a stagehand, and she has a couple of bulging discs, and she can't lay down during the day or lie down.
Right.
But I'm going to make a couple of suggestions here, Brad.
Well, first of all, how does she know she has bulging discs? Did they take scans?
Yeah.
What are the symptoms? Is it painful? We've had people come back from the doctor and the scan says they got, but it may not be that uncomfortable. So sometimes.
No, you could take a scan of my back right now, and I have no pain whatsoever. I probably have some bulging discs. I mean, they're very, very common, especially as you get older.
Right.
It's a part of aging.
Exactly.
So don't assume because you have a bulging disc, oh my God,
Yeah.
the world is over. I mean, you go by your symptoms.
Is it painful? Are you having pain down your leg?
Right.
Changes things versus if the back pain stays in the back.
So one thing, you can't do this during the day, but you could strengthen the core just like we were showing.
Sure.
But the other thing, if I don't know what your age is. It's Debbie?
Yes.
Maybe she could tell us her age. If she's like in her 30s or 40s, I would have her try some lumbar extensions on the floor.
Sure.
We don't have the band or the straps, do we, Brad?
No.
Okay, never mind. I was going to show that she could just do some press-ups and use the band.
The
Resistance,
stretch strap.
yeah.
I do want to say she's probably doing a fair amount of lifting and moving on her job. So making sure you have good mechanics is where, and you can use anything that's about 5 foot long. It doesn't have to be a Booyah stick. And do these exercises. We just demonstrated these. I don't know if you were present.
Come around, again.
And so that anytime you bend over to pick something up, even if it's light object, it's a 2-pound object.
If it's a pencil, I want you to have good posture like this.
Yeah.
So there's contact on the head, mid-back, low back. Obviously, you're not going to carry a stick around like this, but it trains you.
Right.
So like when you do this something, you're thinking, I should have the stick in place, and I should be lifting it correctly.
And I've done this with patients. I say, you take your broomstick or whatever you have at home and do these 10 to 15 repetitions once or twice a day just to train your body so that when you do pick something up, you know that you're in good body mechanics.
I'm going to mention one other thing here, Brad. These are a bit pricey, so I'm always reluctant to recommend them.
Oh, right.
But if you want an easy way to, like when you're relaxing at night, I just tweaked my back a couple of weeks ago.
Sure.
And I was doing everything, and it seemed like nothing was really helping that much. And I went back to the old Thermatex, and I just put this in my chair, and I've been putting it on at night now.
Sure.
Went away. I mean, it just really calms things down.
Sure.
What this is far infrared heat.
Right.
And normal heat, which most people don't realize, but normal heat only penetrates like skin deep.
Right. So that's just heat like a normal hot pack that you could buy anywhere for about $30 or $40. They heat up because of electricity, and as a conduction, it's because there's contact made between the pack and this. This has infrared rays that penetrate through the skin, and they go 2.36 inches, over 2 inches deep.
So that is a big difference between surface and 2.36 inches. Right. So my mom, I'll take your question in just a minute. My mom just recently fractured a rib, and I immediately sent one of these to her.
Sure. Because
this penetrated to the point where she got some relief from it, where a normal hot pack didn't do the job.
Sure.
So what I like about it is I put it in my chair. You can leave it on, actually.
Yeah.
It only costs a couple pennies a day to run this. It's very comfortable. It's only got one setting,
on
off. Very difficult to burn yourself with it.
They're safe and they're built very well. They're going to last a long time.
Well, how long have we had ours now?
3 years,
You had
4 years.
I have one. Really nice quality cord that comes with it.
Yeah, it's a commercial duty. They are expensive,
Yeah,
so
they are
you're going to
expensive.
see it. You're going to say, try some other things first. You know,
Right.
and that's going to be up to you.
Well, what they recommend is actually it takes a little bit to warm up, doesn't it? It takes about
5 or 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, so often I'll turn it on and come back later and then use it. But you can also strap it on yourself, which
Sure.
I did. I strapped it on myself while I was working. It comes with straps, Velcro straps. But at night, I put it on for a couple hours. While I'm watching TV.
You sit in it.
Yeah, but what they recommend is 2 times a day for at least 30 to 45 minutes. And it really makes a difference.
And if you do sit on it, because that's where I use mine in the recliner, I put it there. You have to make sure that your lumbar support is there. Use a pillow.
Yeah, I put a pillow underneath it.
Right, so
Not
that your
between
back is supported.
Right.
You're not rounding out.
Yes, exactly. That's what I did last night. What
That's
is the question,
critical.
Mike?
Elaine has spinal stenosis and degenerative disc disease. She's wondering if she can use an inversion table. She's also doing exercises you two recommend.
So Elaine has, well, you said the question. I think they heard it.
Yeah.
She has spinal stenosis. And yes, you can try inversion, but I would first maybe try hanging.
So inversion, I've used an inversion table.
Brad's a big expert on this.
They can work really well. You're basically doing decompression or traction using your trunk as body weight, hanging upside down or not, depending on what you want to do. But this system is easier to try. If you buy an inversion table and you find out it doesn't work for you,
You got a big inversion table.
Yeah,
$600.
Yeah, well, it depends, but that's
Yeah.
Anyway, a few $100s. And
What worries me about inversion tables, which I'm fine with using all the time,
Yeah.
is that you are going upside down. If you have blood pressure problems or
if you got eye problems, you
eye
got to make
problems.
sure that because your pressure in your eyes goes up when you invert. So, anyways, if you know someone that has one, or you can try one, that's by far the
that would
way
be the
to
way
do
to
it.
do it,
If it
yes.
works great for you, then yes, buy one. But I wouldn't buy one going into it blindly.
yeah,
I
I
think-
would try.
This option.
You can look up Bob and Brad inversion videos.
Oh yes, yeah. We have a number of videos, and we go through this
We
in
have a lot
detail.
of videos on inversion tables. And we like the Teeter,
Yeah.
name brand.
You can use pull-up bars to do this. If you have pull-up bar, at home, you can do this. As
Yeah, you
well.
can hang on a rafter, you can hang on a branch, you can hang on whatever you can find.
Some people have pull-up bars.
Carrie has spondy L5S1 grade 1 plus. Can I use bands to strengthen my body and abs?
Wow.
Yeah.
Brad, is this your question or
Brad
what?
question.
So, I'm sorry. What's your name?
Carrie?
What's that? $399 is what?
L5, that's the desk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she has spondylolisthesis. That's exactly what I have. Mine is grade 1, grade 2, more closer to grade 2. That's the only thing I use is bands for core
Well, you
strengthening,
use-
with the exception of the ball.
The
Yeah.
physio ball.
And actually, the big ball is always my go-to. I start with that, and then I go to the bands, and I do that 3 and it's got me from being able to not walk more than a mile to now I run 3.5 miles without any symptoms. You've got to get that area stabilized
Right.
around your back, depending on how your spine is right now. If it's just shifted and it takes time for it to
Just say grade
stabilize.
1, right?
Yeah, but we don't know when it shifted or
Right.
that history. But yeah, the bands I think are the way to go. It's worked great for me.
With Brad's back, what happened to it over time is then it naturally fused.
Yeah,
It gristles up your back, and that's what Dr. Stewart calls it.
the gristling.
Yeah, as you get older, you actually end up usually with less back problems.
Sure.
When you get to your 60s and 70s. One benefit of growing old. There's only one I can think of.
The best what you'll want to do is go to Bob and Brad spondylolisthesis, and it's going to pull up a number of videos that we have on core
We have a
strength.
whole series on it, actually,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah.
of videos. Let's talk about the massage guns a little
All
more,
right.
Brad. Let's grab, this is our standard size one, and that's the C2. It weighs still only 1.5 pounds. It's got a brushless motor, which I don't know what that means. All of our massage guns have at least 5 different heads. So let's grab a few of these heads here. And with your back, you can start off with the least aggressive one, which is like the air filled. Again,
Squishy.
yeah, you can go over bones with this one. It just doesn't bother you.
Right.
But then you can, over time, you might progress to maybe more like the ball one.
Yeah.
That's the one you have on right now.
Yeah. I use the air one, the ball one, and that's pretty much the ones I use now. I may go if I get more aggressive. These 2 plastic ones. One
The
got
bullet one.
yeah, I never use that one, but Bob does.
Yeah.
And then this flat one. I'll use this flat one sometimes. So
If you're tougher, you might use the bullet one. If you're a wussy like Brad.
I gotta admit, Bob, that's
No, I'm not using mine on the back. I'm using it on my cap.
Sure.
That's where I'm using it.
depends how much muscle mass you're going through, like the glutes or the hamstrings, quadriceps. Take the more
The thing
aggressive.
about these guns is that something's going to crop up in your life that needs it. I can tell you, I have friends and family. They're always passing these around because somebody has got something that's hurting. You know, it's the nature of human beings. Something's always on the mend. And the thing is, you can get these for fairly inexpensive.
Right.
We got a range. Actually, if you want to go all the way down to this one, which is our handheld massager, this one is only $40 with I think it's got a coupon. And these other ones too have coupons.
Yeah, and this one's not so aggressive. Typically, we'll refer that to someone who's real thin, elderly. It has some advantages. You can reach behind your
This
back.
one you can reach
easier.
your back. Where the other one, now I can reach my back. I can reach my low back even. I hit that the other day with this. But for a lot of people, it's more difficult. Now this one doesn't have as much reach, percussion. I mean, it's not as much travel.
That's
Yeah.
what I like to use. They call it amplitude, but I like to use
Amplitude.
travel.
But again, like Brad said, if you're smaller, thinner, or elderly,
Yeah.
this is the one for you. And this is the one I got my mother-in-law. She uses it on her feet all the time, on the bottom of her feet.
Sure, yeah.
And she's got some neuropathy. Mike, you have a question?
Mindy says she can't do core exercises because of inoperable diastasis recti. There we go. She has spondylolisthesis, need to do something.
I still think, even with diastasis rectus, which is right in the rectus, she still could strengthen the obliques.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
You know, it depends on the severity of her.
She could probably still do that.
She has spondy as well.
Yeah.
And what about this one, Brad?
Well, you know, because you just interviewed the expert of the diastasis, right? A couple months ago.
One person thinks it's part of the normal process, but if you even did these, Brad,
sure.
You know, you're strengthening most of the back, you're strengthening a little bit of the core,
right?
But you're getting mostly back.
Right.
And you can start off with just doing legs first or just doing arms first.
I got to be honest with you, Bob. I feel a little uncomfortable advising too much because she has 2 separate problems between the spondy and the diastasis. So it's like you're going to have to experiment, and whatever you do to strengthen, it needs to be pain-free and it needs to not irritate.
Probably be
either
approved by your doctor. Why don't we show her something else, then, Brad?
Okay.
Why don't we show her how to just by positioning, you keep your back out of problems. So
sure.
One thing you don't want to be in a flex position even though spondy often feels better that way.
Right.
You can be somewhat flexed, but you still have to be straight, like you.
Right.
The same thing.
You want to maintain now, your seated posture, depending on your. Like I couldn't sit in the car for more than a half hour, and I found the proper lumbar support made all the difference in the world getting out of a car.
Yeah, you didn't like any of these. You like the full one.
Full length one,
Yeah.
For spondy, these are probably not going to work for anybody with spondy because they're too aggressive and too extension.
They're extending the back where the spondy feels good with the flex.
Right.
Despite it feeling good flexed, you don't want to be flexed.
Not long term.
Not long term. Right. Like for example, Brad bikes.
Right.
And you bike, and by the time you get done biking,
it's hard for me to stand up.
Right.
Because I've been flexed and this is where it's hard. We don't know your situation exactly, so we're talking generalities here. Oh yeah, we're tipping off.
Off the edge. There you go. So maybe we're not being that now. That's someone again where the Thermotex might really help. Really, you can't really go wrong with this. I mean, this is far infrared heating. It penetrates 2 inches, 0.3, 2.6,
2.36, Bob.
2.36 inches. And so, in other words, it penetrates quite deep. It's like giving a little treatment to your back every night.
Right.
If you sit on this.
And it depends. I know with my back, if I'm flared up because I did some silly things, typically it's yard work. I will use a cold pack after that. If it's feeling okay, I'll use a hot pack.
Well, Brad, you like to use this.
I do like that.
This is good for spondy and
back pain in general.
Back pain in general.
So if my back is irritated, and again, it's not addressing too much of your abdominal issues or that muscle issue, but this. Boy.
So this is the elevating leg. They're from like $34 to $38. They're made out of foam. There's a lot of them out on Amazon. You can check out any of them. But this thing just for some reason feels really good with back pain.
Yeah, I would take this to bed with me. My back has been really good. I haven't used this in actually a year because my back has been feeling so much better.
Sure.
In general. But I'd go to bed with it and I'd fall asleep like this because it was uncomfortable.
And you even have the ice pack in place sometimes.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll put the cold pack here, or you could use a hot pack depending on what you respond better to and just lie there.
You don't want to fall asleep with a hot pack on though.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
You don't want to pull that out. But
Right.
I would fall asleep. Sometimes I wouldn't use either. Fall asleep, wake up in a couple hours because you can't roll to your side.
Right.
And I would just take this and then throw it on the floor and pick it up the next day. But at least it got me through that painful part of falling asleep and having it settle
Or
down.
even during the day, like you're trying to give yourself a break, right?
Yeah, I have done that. Well,
if you're in the throes, it was really bad.
It's sore. Instead of taking a bunch of ibuprofen, cold pack under there, lay for 20 minutes. And I've had incredible success with taking my pain from like a 6 or a 7 down to a 1.
It's weird. It seems like it's such a simple device, but it really works well. I mean,
I would try and use some pillows first.
You can try pillows, but pillows don't work as well.
I'm saying use a pillow. Yeah. If that feels better, this is going to feel better than a pillow.
Right.
Then, occasionally I had some patients say they didn't like this. Not very often, but sometimes. So I'm just trying to.
There's always somebody.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the lumbar rolls, Brad. Well, let's talk about the night roll. Where are we at? Yeah, there.
Use this one.
So for some of you, especially if you have a larger buttock and you have a big gap in your low back when you lie on your back. So let's say if I'm on bed and I'm lying like this, you're going to have trouble seeing me here. But if I have a big gap right here because I have a larger butt,
right at the belt line.
What's going to happen? My back's going to sink down while I'm lying on my back. And what we recommend is people take a sheet and roll it up and tie it around their waist. There goes my keys. And what happens then when I lie on my back, it actually provides support on my back. It actually feels good, Brad.
Yeah. Well, you'll know because it feels good right away.
And you tie it around the waist, and then when you roll on your side, it also provides support on your side.
Right.
So it really provides support in every direction except on your stomach.
And we don't recommend that typically, anyways.
I actually like this.
If your bed is wore out too, and your bed is, and you don't want to buy a new mattress, that may be a temporary solution.
Yeah. So we recommend first trying a rolled up sheet, tie it around your waist. That works. Then you might try getting a roll like this, a McKenzie night roll, it's called, because it'll be more permanent and it'll be easier to use. Danny's got a question.
There's a question that's back for the Thermatex.
Thermatex, okay.
Melissa's wondering if she can use the Thermatex with a pain pump implant.
With a what?
A pain pump implant? You'd have to ask your doctor.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
my guess is
my initial reaction is, I would say, ask your doctor before you use it.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want to have a problem.
You don't want to invest. When you get a Thermatex, this is the platinum model, by the way, and I really like it. Especially if you have other areas you might want to use it
right. On. You can use it on pretty much every area of your body, with the exception around the neck.
Yeah, I got one for my. We're crooked again, Brett, Mike. I got one for my aunt who has fibromyalgia, because there's some part of the body that's always aching with that, and it works really well for that. So
she was grateful.
She was grateful.
Very good.
I'm probably her favorite nephew now. I have to buy happiness. So, all right, let's go ahead and talk about the back pod, Brad. This was invented by a therapist out of New Zealand.
Yeah.
And he's a real friendly guy. He actually invented it for costochondritis,
which is chest pain that's not from your heart.
Yeah.
It's from the ribs, where the ribs connect to the sternum. I've had it. I've been to the emergency 3 times because I had chest pain. They kept telling me it was musculoskeletal until we found out this from Steve. What's his last? August. I was thinking of a month, June or July.
Close, yeah.
Yeah, and I use mine on a regular basis, and I even got a new way to do it. I'd like to show Steve it. It really is more aggressive.
Well, you could show us here today.
Well, yeah, we'll do it.
But the thing is what you'll find, this is for more if you have back pain between the shoulder blades or in the upper mid-back. This is not for low back use.
Right.
Now, a lot of people are rounded out in this area. Yeah, they got poor posture. These, once it gets fixated like this, it's very tough to stretch this out. Very tough.
Yeah.
And you got to get aggressive. So we actually use this pad. And sometimes we recommend people start with a tennis ball.
Sure.
And lie on that, but a lot of times that's too aggressive. This actually is shaped in such a fashion that it fits really well. My wife actually, she went to our cabin yesterday.
Is this going to be a long story?
No, she goes, can I take this with?
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
I mean, she
doesn't have her own yet?
Well, we had some, but we've been borrowing them out. So, I mean, I've given out about 20 of these.
Yeah.
I mean,
but again, for costochondritis, it's saved me a lot of trips and anxiety because when I get chest pain.
Costo is really scary and it's really.
Now, we're going to do some more videos on this in reference to SI joint too. Is that right?
Right.
Is Steve going to do that? So we're going to learn some more uses of this device.
Well, for posture too. That's the big, eye hunch. Hunch. But so when you're lying on your back, I like to hit at least 6 spots here. So we're not on the spine, although he recommends you can put it on the spine.
Sure. Okay.
But you can put it between the shoulder blades and the spine right here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can spend like 30 seconds on each one. Mm-hmm. You lie on your back, you bring your arms, you expand your chest, bring your elbows to your side.
Do we want to show them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I found it was probably
Go down.
Without it, the best thing I've used to take away the knots that I was getting up on my upper back.
We take this on the floor, and you need to do this. You can't do this on a bed. It has to be done.
No, it has to
on
be
the
on a
floor.
hard surface.
Yeah.
And in fact, initially, you may need a pillow under your head.
Yeah. Right here.
Yeah.
So
But I thought you were tough enough now that you did need it. I thought you'd progressed to the
I
point-
don't need a pillow.
Okay, I thought you were acting like you
no. So I'm going to say now, he's saying you lift your buttocks off. Now, I could not do this the first
Right.
couple, 3 weeks.
Right.
Now I can lift my buttocks off. I can do what he says about shoulder extension, which I had to take a towel, fold it up about 3 or 4 layers, so it was a little softer.
You put the towel on the pod.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right over the top, and then lay on it, and then eventually take it off so that.
Yeah. For
Really
someone
good.
who's just starting, they'll probably have a towel on it. It comes with a booklet, by the way, a very in-depth booklet. So you can use a towel, you can use a pillow underneath the head to start off with. I just gave one to a golfing friend. Really does help improve your mobility for golf, by the way, for your thoracic area.
Ooh, that's making my back crack. I like that.
Yeah. And he actually used it. He was a former Marine. And
So he was tough to begin.
yeah, well, I said, you may need a pillow. I don't know.
Pillow.
Yeah.
And
But he's loved it because this fits right in with the Marine posture. And,
Oh, yeah. But Bob, I want to show you what I do now.
Okay, I want to see this.
Now that I can do this, I can lift my butt off, and that feels good. What I actually do is I go back and forth, and I think it's a really good fascia
Oh,
relief.
sure.
You can't see what's going on here, but you can really feel it. It's more aggressive.
I think I'm going to try that.
Yeah. Oh, I do it on all 6. I do 8 locations, actually.
So again, he talks about the hinges of the ribs get rusted up, kind of rusty, he calls them, and you want to loosen those up. So that would even do it better, I think.
I think so. Yeah, so what's going on is it's going like this, and it's taking your skin and pushing your skin forward and backwards, stretching the fascia between the skin and the muscle,
Right.
as well as into the joint in that area.
It's amazing how people always ignore the fascia. They always talk about muscle, bone, and ligament.
Yeah.
But
Did you read the book on the fascia?
I did.
Yeah, it's definitely
Fascia plays a large role in everything.
Yeah, and I think that's going to help out people with fibro eventually once they get some more things figured out.
Let's talk about a couple of books, Fred. Why don't you talk about the McKenzie book? I'm going to talk about Stuart McGill's book.
So if you have back pain, particularly low back pain with sciatica, if you want to get a book to treat yourself, how to educate yourself, so you can treat yourself independently, this is it. Robin McKenzie, physical therapist, he's now passed away, but his whole philosophy was to educate people how to treat themselves for back pain and sciatica. This book is written for the layperson. It's very good,
Very comprehensive.
for treatment as well as
Tells you everything to
explanation.
do. It's only like $10, $12, I think. I don't even see it on here.
Yeah, it's in that range.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, it's $10.
I at one point I did a video. I researched when it came out and how many thousands of copies they sold so far.
And you'll see the stars.
Yeah.
This thing's got
Reviews,
Yeah, reviews.
Yeah.
People are very happy with it. And they've been teaching this McKenzie course in 36 countries.
I think it's over. Yeah, I think it's actually over 40 now. But
Really?
it's a worldwide
system. Yeah.
So, anyways, he's done
It's
a lot
definitely
for
worth a
the
try. Take a look at it. You don't have to buy one, but take a look. You'll see what we're talking about. The other one we're a big fan of, I would say he's the #1 back expert in the world right now.
Yeah.
I had him on my podcast. Stuart McGill, he's from Canada, actually. He's got a book, too, and Treat Yourself. It takes you through the steps.
Yeah.
It's called The Back Mechanic. It's going to tell you what you can do, what you can't do. And my nephew was having sciatica.
Sure.
And I bought one of these books for him and his parents.
Oh,
'Cause I wanted
good.
his parents to be nagging him. So he's a good kid. He's a really smart kid.
Yeah.
So they were going through the book. step by step, chapter by chapter.
He's got self-test, self-treatment.
Yeah,
It's a little more comprehensive than the McKenzie book.
yeah, it's different.
Yeah, that's because he's a he's a PhD. He's got a professor. They can't make things as simple as someone like
no,
Robin.
but he's got, I think, like 80 studies that he's done. He's written some textbooks.
Sure.
He's treated heads of state and top athletes. He can't name who they are.
And treat.
They are treated, but they come all the way up to Canada to see him.
Sure.
Just to be treated by him. So he's the guy.
And he also, his primary thing, teach him what to do, go home
Right.
and take care of yourself. It's the same
Concept.
why people come to us, so that we can give you independence from
When
the
you have
healthcare.
back pain, you have to take control of it. You have to. I know you wish somebody could give you a pill and make it go away, but that's not how it works.
Right.
You have to take control. We're trying to show you some things today that will help you do that.
I do want to say, Bob, I've got a relative. He's just got an implanted TENS unit for his back pain. So they take a special TENS unit, put it in his back, put the electrodes in there, and you control it with a, I think, iPhone. It's not working.
Oh,
It works a little bit, but so the whole point is, if
yeah, try it.
do
Inexpensive.
these things first, I feel confident that you're going to find better ways than having things put into your body like that.
Yeah,
hopefully.
exactly. All right, let's talk about one more time about the massage guns, Brad, for back pain.
What are you looking for one?
I'm going to grab the smaller one here. This is the Q2. It's kind of cutie. That's how I remember it. This one, very popular among my family because even though it's small,
give it to him.
I give it to them, but also, Brad, because it's very powerful for its size.
It is.
It's shockingly powerful.
And you can hold on to it if you're
it's got
older or you're weaker.
Ergonomically, it works really well.
Yeah.
I like that term, ergonomically.
Yeah, that just came up.
Yeah, but my son, who's become kind of a beefy guy, he was a runner, as you know.
Yeah.
He's like 240 now.
Because he's pumping some
He's
iron.
pumping
He's
weights.
doing some serious
But he
lifting.
just sits there and he feels like this can do the work on him. He's always massaging something.
Well, this falls into the supple leopard.
Right.
Who's
Kelly Starr.
the football player? What's his name? He's really good. They won the Super Bowl last year for the Florida.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady talks about how this is why
Yeah.
he says he is still able to play football because
He keeps the muscles supple.
right. And this is one avenue you can do it, and it's the way you can do it by yourself. And I think he just hires them every day, and
Probably.
most people can't.
We all
afford
can't
that.
do that. Now, you might need a partner sometime to.
Yeah.
I'm vibrating my mouth. Yeah, but I can reach into my back fairly decent with this one. It's got good ergonomics.
Mhm.
But
This one's a little harder, but
a little harder.
You can
But
get
you don't have great shoulder range of motion, Brad.
and I'm still doing
You're
it.
still doing it.
See, it feels great though.
I even like to hit the lats a little bit, and
Just-
again, you can't hit that mid back portion. That's
That's
where-
the tough one.
yeah, that's where you need help.
And just a warning, we're talking about backs, but don't try this on your neck.
No.
They're too aggressive. Just
Yeah, they
don't
rattle,
even try it.
they rattle your teeth,
Yeah. and your cervical vertebrae are not.
rattle your brain.
Yeah, they're too aggressive
So
for that.
again, I would, if I were to pick a gift, a universal gift to buy somebody.
I'm not kidding you. My friends have one of these, and we were at a restaurant outdoors, and my friend's wife pulled that out, and she's massaging her back right in the restaurant.
Right in the restaurant.
Yeah, it's like,
This one?
yeah, she had the small
Oh,
one.
she had the
She
small
had the
one.
ball on there, and she was getting her upper traps and trying to get back here because she was.
Hey, when you're in pain, you're in pain,
Yeah.
and it's not pleasant. And
They won't be long, and there's the whole restaurant that is going to be everywhere.
that's right.
I'm
We're
just
gonna have
kidding.
restaurants.
Who
where
knows?
there's a massage guns lying at the table, so you can just pick them up and. That would be a popular restaurant, by the way. All right. Anything else we want to finish off with, Brad?
Are we running out of time?
Yeah, we're gonna go another
I can't-
couple minutes.
2 more minutes?
Yeah.
No questions?
Not really.
Not really, huh?
Where's that handheld massager again?
Oh, that one? That's a good question, Bob.
Oh, here it is. It's hiding.
Just use that one.
Yeah, you're at the desk.
Yeah, this one's built as we reviewed earlier. This one is built so you can actually hit your mid back with
Yeah.
it too.
Exactly.
It's just not as quite as powerful, but this one is inexpensive. It's only like $40 with
It's a
their.
really good entry
Yeah.
model.
It's a good entry model, and it's got different modes, so you can actually see how it's stopping and going.
Yep, intermittent
Yeah.
percussion there. And it's got a nice little red light there.
Yeah, it's like a machine gun. But yeah, you can.
Wow.
It's like you're
You
taking
can tell it's getting
a shower.
close to the end of the video.
Yeah.
We digress.
All right, and again, you don't have to limit it to your back. You can hit any part of the body. We talked about piriformis syndrome earlier,
Yeah.
and this one works really well for that because you can reach down to the block area. and
Yep,
hit that
exactly.
area. A lot of the massage
Yeah,
guns
I
will
want
shut down after like 20 minutes or 15 minutes because that's just to stop it from overheating. Nothing wrong with the gun. You can actually restart it right away.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you've worked it that long, you've probably had enough,
Yeah.
unless you're working your whole body. But
Now this one's got like 6 heads, doesn't it? And those heads actually screw on.
yeah,
Where these actually change by interface, as Brad likes to say.
interference fit.
Interference. I'm sorry, interface. I thought I was sounding smart. So you can actually just pop it off, pop it on, and you're ready to go.
That's a little nicer than this, but this has a nice coarse thread, so it doesn't take much to get on.
These are pretty silent too.
Yeah, they are. They're quiet.
Yeah.
They're impressive.
We dealt with a company that really knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're really good on quality control.
Right. If we recommended a change to it before
Yeah.
we put our name on them, they would make the change to fit
Yeah.
what we requested. So they're custom made for Bob and Brad, if you will.
We turned down a lot of products.
Yeah.
A lot of products.
Mhm.
We only do the ones that we feel are really going to help you, and if they don't, we put them to the side.
Well, we just say thank you, but no thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I do like these. I know it's about the back, but obviously I got to take my shoe off. But it is nice to work on your feet with these.
Yeah, just make sure you sterilize it after that.
Well,
I mean,
Bob,
What if somebody picks it up and puts it on there?
Well, it's not like I'm going to leave it in public.
Well, it's in your house. I mean,
My wife and I we're close enough where it doesn't matter.
all right. Well, I think we've gone on long enough, and Mike's going to cut us off.
Okay.
So